Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. This is an opinion-based video where I try to open your eyes and ears to some of the things that are taking place throughout our cities, states, and country, and sometimes around the world. And this is an unfortunate scenario with a gentleman who had a long criminal history, that's been in and out of jail, who ended up killing a female paramedic in South Carolina, and then driving across the country, and he executed a state trooper in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's finally been caught, and let me tell you how the story goes. The suspect wanted in the killing of a New Mexico state trooper and a South Carolina paramedic was captured Sunday after an eagle-eyed gas station clerk called 911, authorities said. The suspect, Jaremy Smith, was taken into custody in Bernalillo County, New Mexico, after leading police on a foot chase that resulted in him being shot and wounded by at least one deputy from the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, according to the New Mexico State Police. Smith is the suspect in the fatal shooting of the New Mexico State police officer Justin Hare and the slaying of Phoenicia Mercado Foray, a South Carolina paramedic who was reported missing. The 33-year-old suspect, who was identified by police, was the subject of a massive manhunt. Smith's arrest came less than 24 hours after New Mexico State Police Chief Troy Weisler said, "Jaremy Smith, we are coming for you." He said, "We will bring Jaremy Smith to justice. There's nowhere that you could run, and there's nowhere you could hide," Weisler said during a news conference. "Thanks to our community, to our fellow law enforcement partners, we are able to do that." Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen said a clerk at a Murphy Express gas station in Albuquerque recognized a customer matching Smith's description around 7 a.m. local time and called police. When officers arrived at the scene, they spotted Smith walking on a road in a residential neighborhood and immediately started to establish a perimeter. A foot pursuit ensued. Shots were fired. Some shots struck Smith. "We don't know the amount right now or how many. That's all under investigation." Allen said Smith was taken to a local hospital where he was under guard and being treated. "When a law enforcement officer is killed anywhere in the state of New Mexico, we stand as a unified front," Allen said, praising the work of federal, state, and local law enforcement, who worked as a team to make sure we took someone that was very dangerous to the public, to all our communities, into custody. No deputies were injured in the incident. Murphy Express gas station clerk Samantha Reynolds told ABC News that she called 911 after carding Smith when he bought a pack of cigarettes and used his real ID. Reynolds said she recognized Smith immediately from his wanted posters and confirmed her suspicion by the unusual spelling of Jaremy on his driver's license. She said, "I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know if he was armed. Actually, when I carded him, I was like, is he going to shoot me?" Reynolds said, "But I wanted to do what was right for the family of Officer Hare, for my community, and to back the blue." Officer Hare was gunned down around 5 a.m. On a Friday after answering a call to help a disabled motorist on Interstate 40 near Tucumcari, around 235 miles east of Albuquerque near the Texas border. When Officer Hare pulled up behind the disabled BMW, the suspect exited the vehicle and approached the officer's passenger side window, Weisler said. A short conversation ensued about repairing his tire and possibly getting a ride back to town, when, without warning, the suspect pulled out a firearm and shot Officer Hare, Weisler said during a news conference. When Officer Hare did not return several attempts to contact him, an officer was sent to the scene and saw Hare's patrol car driving at a high speed on a frontage road along Interstate 40 road. Officer Hare managed to set off a distress signal, sending an emergency signal to dispatch, police said. During the investigation, police learned the car that Smith was driving at the time of the encounter with Officer Hare was registered to Mikado Foray, a paramedic in Florence County, South Carolina. Emergency Medical Services Authority said. Mikado Foray was found dead outside of Lakeview in Dillon County, South Carolina, after she had been reported missing by her family, according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. An autopsy has been scheduled. Smith has an extensive criminal history dating back decades in South Carolina and has ties to the Albuquerque area. Before Smith's arrest, warrants were issued charging him with Officer Hare's murder. Weisler said the investigation is continuing and police are searching for anyone who assisted Smith in getting to Albuquerque. We will be tirelessly searching for any leads and any individuals that we discover were involved in this situation with Smith. Officer Hare's girlfriend, the mother of his two daughters, who is pregnant with their third child, released a statement describing Officer Hare as an amazing son, father, spouse, and police officer. The role he played in the lives of his family and those close to him will never be forgotten, she wrote. The fact that he put his heart into every single thing that he did with the epitome of whom Justin was, it's so hard to put his life and who he was into a paragraph because he was indescribable. She added, Justin loved me and our family. He always went above and beyond to ensure that we had everything we needed, not just financially or materialistically, but he was constantly present. He always let the girls and I know that we were his priority. And I'm doing this case for all my TikTok followers just to show I'm seeing way too many individuals. I don't know if it's because many of these states have laxed their laws, where like in the state of Illinois, you have the Safety Act, where if you commit a minor crime, you can get out under your own recognizance and show back up to court. The state of California has a cashless bail system, bond system, where you can get out on your own. New York has done bail reform. You have innumerable amount of individuals who have a long, tawdry history of arrest, incarcerations, whether they're minor or not. What I'm seeing is if this gentleman had a long history of being arrested in South Carolina, it seems like even if they start off with minor crimes, whether it's bad check writing, shoplifting, looting, property damage, if there's a long history of that and they're not having worked a lot, is there mental health issues, eventually it seems like many of these individuals will end up doing something very demonic and will possibly commit murder. It is happening time and time and time again. Just ask the criminal psychologists that work in law enforcement. Just ask law enforcement officials. Evidently, this gentleman had a high recidivism rate of going back and forth to jail and to prison, and maybe South Carolina should have kept him locked up for a long time. I don't know his complete criminal background record, but it says that it was extensive. Evidently, he was mentally ill. I don't know if he had an opioid issue, but mental illness, the opioid crisis, hopelessness, joblessness, homelessness are all real issues and pillars that are tearing down our moral and ethical fabric in America. And public safety is a real issue. There's no way that this gentleman needs to be on the street. He killed a female paramedic, drove her car all the way across country, and then he kills a New Mexico police officer, execution style. There are many individuals that are out here that are hateful, mean, and do not care about humanness and humanity. There's starting to be a minuscule fine line between life and death with many of these people that are suffering. Tell me what you think about this particular case, about this guy that killed a New Mexico state police officer.